13 militants killed in a sweeping IRGC operation across Iran's restive southeast. But behind the headlines, the insurgency in Sistan-Baluchestan is far from over. Sunni militant networks, from Jaish al-Adl to cross-border smugglers, continue to test Tehran's grip. And as Iran and Pakistan vow tighter border security, the question lingers: can cooperation turn a frontier of blood and fire into one of brotherhood and stability? The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps' Quds Base Ground Force said on August 27th that its forces, in collaboration with Iran's intelligence ministry operatives and Police Command of the Islamic Republic of Iran, launched simultaneous operations in Iranshahr, Khash and Saravan, areas frequently used by militants for infiltration and smuggling. According to the IRGC statement, during the ground operation, 13 terrorists were killed and several militants were captured alive and are under interrogation.
During 3 simultaneous operations in Iranshahr, Khash and Saravan, several terrorists were eliminated and others arrested. Our forces, alongside the intelligence ministry operatives, continue to ensure security and stability in the region. In the operation, a kidnapped citizen was freed by IRGC forces. In 3 joint operations carried out with the cooperation of the Police Command, the intelligence organization of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, 13 militants were killed and several others were arrested in Iranshahr, Khash and Saravan.
According to Iranian state TV, 8 of the dead were part of a group that killed 5 policemen on August 22nd while they were on patrol in the province. Spokesman for Police Command, Brigadier General Montazer al-Mahdi, stated that a quantity of weapons and ammunition was discovered and seized during the operations.
8 of the slain terrorists had martyred 5 police officers last week in the Daman area of Iranshahr.
On August 17th, armed assailants attacked 2 police patrol units on the Khash-Iranshahr road in Sistan and Baluchistan province, leading to the tragic loss of 5 Iranian officers. The coordinated operations highlight ongoing security challenges along Iran's southeastern borders, where militant groups allegedly backed by foreign sponsors have repeatedly staged cross-border attacks targeting civilians and security forces. Sistan and Baluchistan province, which borders Pakistan and Afghanistan, has long been a hotspot for militant activities and smuggling networks that foreign intelligence organizations support to destabilize the region. Meanwhile, Pakistani and Iranian army chiefs reaffirmed their commitment to eliminating terrorism and strengthening border security. According to a statement issued by the Iranian embassy in Islamabad on August 26th, Major General Mohammad Mousavi, Chief of Staff of Iran's armed forces, held a telephone conversation with Pakistan's Chief of Army Staff, Field Marshal Syed Asim Munir. During the conversation, General Mousavi stressed concern that militant activities have recently increased on both sides of the Iran-Pakistan border.
Unfortunately, terrorist activities on both sides of the border have increased. We are prepared to cooperate fully with Pakistan in order to root out terrorism in the region and establish security along our shared frontier. We expect that within the framework of this bilateral cooperation, practical action will be taken against terrorist groups. Tehran and Islamabad share the same view regarding border security, underlining that the frontier should become a border of friendship, brotherhood, and economic development. A series of steps have already been taken, but they must be intensified and past shortcomings addressed.
This declaration comes on the heels of a militant attack that killed 5 Iranian police officers in the southeastern region of the country on August 22, further highlighting the pressing need for decisive action. The Iranian general also expressed gratitude for Pakistan's support during the US-Israeli aggression that lasted for 12 days in June, stressing that concrete steps against militants are now expected as a direct result of this strengthened partnership. For his part, Pakistani Field Marshal Asim Munir expressed agreement with Iran's concerns about border security, saying,
"We must transform the Pakistan-Iran border into one of friendship, brotherhood, and economic development, and we will certainly achieve this through cooperation.
The conversation came about weeks after Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian visited Islamabad. The two neighbours agreed earlier this month to protect their shared border by effectively combating terrorism. Mutual accusations of harbouring militants have periodically strained relations between the two neighbours, as the nearly 900-kilometre shared border has long faced security threats from militant networks like Jaish al-Adl and the Baluchistan Liberation Army. Eastern Iran's Sistan and Baluchestan province has long been the centre of one of the country's most persistent security challenges, an insurgency driven by ethnic grievances, sectarian divides, and the porous border with Pakistan. The province is home to a large Baluch minority, predominantly Sunni Muslims, in sharp contrast with Iran's Shia majority. For decades, the Baluch have faced political discrimination and economic neglect. Those frustrations have been exploited by radical groups, fueling cycles of militancy and repression. At the forefront of this insurgency stands Jaish al-Adl, a Sunni Baloch jihadist group formed in 2012 from the remnants of the earlier militant movement Jundallah. The group claims to fight for Baluch rights and autonomy, but is designated a terrorist organization by Iran and several other states. From ambushes and bombings to kidnappings and suicide attacks, Jaish al-Adl has repeatedly targeted Iran's security forces, border posts, and even judicial institutions. Their attacks have grown more sophisticated over the years. In 2019, a suicide bombing near Zahedan killed 27 members of the Revolutionary Guard in one of the deadliest strikes in the region. More recently, in July 2025, militants stormed a courthouse in Zahedan, killing multiple security personnel and civilians, an attack that underscored both the group's reach and its determination to challenge Tehran's authority. The geography of the conflict adds another layer of volatility. The border between Iran's Sistan-Baluchestan and Pakistan's Baluchistan is notoriously difficult to control. Militants exploit this terrain to stage cross-border raids and evade capture. Iran accuses Pakistan of providing safe havens, while Pakistan has pushed back against Iranian cross-border strikes, leading to tit-for-tat attacks and periodic diplomatic crises. Over the past decade, the insurgency has evolved. From sporadic ambushes in the early 2010 to kidnappings and suicide bombings in the late 2010 to today's more coordinated high-profile assaults. Despite Iran's heavy military presence, fortified borders and missile strikes on suspected militant camps, Jaish al-Adl remains resilient. For Tehran, the insurgency in Sistan and Baluchistan is more than a local security problem. It is a combustible mix of ethnic tension, regional rivalry, and militant persistence, a conflict that shows no sign of ending soon.